All right, so this is my last recorded video before 3.0 for Honkai and Lost Belt 7 Part 2 releases this week. Next week, I even get a day off to clean up anything that I don't get done this week. But yeah, so right before I finish recording my tier list for FGO, and again, all this content that's coming out this week, I wanted to release an update to my original thoughts on the Relic rerolling. Or not Relic rerolling, but Relic economy. As I say pretty often, I'm able to do some of this math at work, especially because I show the kids there, like, applied mathematics, like what math looks like when you're not just given the problem, like you have to come up with it yourself. The teachers really do enjoy me getting the kids thinking about it. So I get to do streamer work at work, and my coworkers don't mind it because they also do know I'm pretty tapped into all this. So here is the TLDRs that I wrote a while ago. These pretty much still stand, and I pretty much wrote this around the same time I came up with this video, the original video, maybe 2 weeks. So TLDR, do not use golds for anything but relic remains. I want to rephrase this in that you should not be leveling relics from 0 to 15 just to scrap them, either for XP, especially for XP, but mostly for relic remains. That's point number one. And number two on this original post was gold relics for XP is sunk cost. I re-looked at the XP growth curve for Honkai and FGO. These things are pretty identical. So I took two things away from this. The relic remain graph for this is probably going to look exactly the same. That's number one. And then number two, again, the XP cost for some of this stuff is pretty fucking wild. For instance, think about 25 times 16 is 400. So quick math on this, 2400. Sorry. Oh, wrong keyboard. 38,000 down here. My guess is that this because this is an exponential graph, meaning that it starts off slow and then very quickly it will spike up, slow growth, and then extremely fast growth. That is exponential growth. Logarithmic growth is very fast starting growth, and then it peters off. We're definitely seeing exponential growth here. And the thing about that is, for the amount of relics you can get, or relic remains you can get from just getting them to 3 and then scrapping them, versus leveling them all the way to 15 and then scrapping them for 400, the math does not work here. Okay, which sheet is it? Yeah, again, I have 4 of these things. Not front and back, because this was mostly just scrap paper. Let's see, which one is it? Ah, here. Okay. So right here, I have relic efficiency. If you take, and for context, I use the amount of relic XP you can get just by going through golden gears. Literally, you get the max bonus to the point that you don't get any more relic remains from doing Sim Universe. Basically, that's how I did this efficiency. Literally, if you are a free-to-play player, how much relic stuff can you get? The answer to that is... where is it? Ah, right here. Okay. So, with the XP you get from clearing golden gears, you get the double drops. That is 4,500 relic XP per run, and you can do 30 full runs per week. That is 135,000 XP. With that XP, you can level 56 relics to level 3. And I do not have the right math for this, obviously, but I'm going to assume, based on this graph, that it's probably around like 22 to like 30 or something around level 3. It's not going to be like a perfect it's not going to be a perfect raft, obviously, because I don't have the numbers, and I also don't know if these relic remains are scaling dynamically, like if they're actually scaling based on the XP or the level. So again, my numbers are estimates. I'm guessing around level 3, it's about 25 relic remains you get per scrap. Again, probably depends on XP or level. I don't know. But just leveling those 56 relics to level 3, you get 1,200 relic remains, aka 12 rerolls. So every 4, like at that point, every 4 relics you scrap, you get a free reroll. Obviously, if you have more XP, you can go higher, but I'm just strictly speaking about someone that is not someone that hoarded relics or anything. But also, that number 56 gold relics, that is a ton. That really applies to me because I have 2,000 gold relics on my main right now, just from not scrapping. But yeah, that is a lot. But as you go down, obviously that same XP is not going to get you the same mileage. Going to level 6, the relic remains you can get gets cut down in half from that XP. Now again, if you have an extreme amount of relic XP that you just don't use, feel free to level relics to like level 15. Because like having 56 relics, again, I understand like how much of an ass that is. When you're talking about efficiency, it really always depends on what you value and what's the thing you're gonna run out of quickest. If you don't have a lot of like spare relic XP, I would definitely recommend stopping at level 3, not going farther than that, because it also stops your other relics from being relicked. Sorry, not being leveled. Like, just think about it. It takes 2,400 XP right here to get to level 3. It takes 76,000 to get to level 15. This is times 30, almost. Right? Yeah, no, it's more than times 30. I think it's like actually 32. Yeah, it's pretty close to 32. The numbers on the paper just started skewing a lot. So sorry. Let's trying to make sure. Yeah, there we go. Almost. There we go. Okay, so this graph here, this is showing. Oh my god, I can't hold it correctly. This is showing relic remains. Right here. Oh, okay. So this is free relic remains per week. Based on how much you level your relics. So again, if you stop at 3, you will have more, but you'll also need more relics to level. So is there a healthy balance to this? According to this graph, the real stopping point is like level 12 or 13. Because also, I had this written down too. Okay, so the amount of XP to get from 0 to 9 is the same as getting your XP from 10 to 12. I have this calc. It's like 60, 100 and something, 130 something. Wait. Yeah, like again, my numbers are pretty off on this because this is like just guesses, based like on this curve, like basically input what level it is on the curve, and I would get the estimate. But yeah, leveling 0 to 9 is the same as leveling 10 to 12, and leveling 0 to 12 is the same as going from 12 to 15. This gap right here, 13, it's really here to here. Ignore the trend line. The trend line is basically at what point are you going to see more return for your investment? And this is kind of just saying, like, if you are leveling 3, if you're scrapping under the trend line, you're not, your investment isn't being respected. That's essentially what this is saying. Like, assuming you have an infinite amount of relics and an infinite amount of relic XP, if you wanted to get the most gain, it would either be here or up here, but that's also only for one side of the spectrum. Under this trend line, you're getting a mix of both, and neither one is really like shining through. But again, this is also just speculation and just an educated guess based on the math. Yeah. And to add like validity to this, I did the same exact thing for Genshin's artifact system, and these graphs look almost identical. Obviously, there's some discrepancy because Genshin relics go to 20, Honkai stops at 15, but there's still 5 sets of data point, 5 levels where you actually get substats. For Honkai, it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Genshin, it's 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. But for the most part, these graphs are the same, which is also going to go back to something I said in the other video about them getting rid of the XP loss. This is inherent to not only Honkai and Genshin, but gacha games in general. They do not want infinite farm, which makes sense. If you spend something, something has to be lost. It can't, like, value does not always stay the same. It naturally goes down over time, whether because better technology comes out or something about it breaks. So the idea that they would let you level a relic to 15 and then let you, when you scrap it, you keep the full amount of relic XP, that just doesn't make sense. That breaks their economy. They're not going to do that, more likely than not. So the balance is going to be struck between whether when you're scrapping relics and when you're using them to make relic XP. Sorry, relic remain. So the relics you have right now that you don't use that are level 15, that are just like so bad that you don't even want to A, reroll them, or B, give them to a character that could use them. Those relics, you have the option whether you want to just scrap them for a reroll or scrap them for XP and be able to level more relics. Like I said, scrapping a 15 relic is going to get you a lot of XP. Now, it's not going to let you level 56 relics, but it is probably going to let you level at least like 20. Right here, like the loss is like about 20%, so this is losing about off the total. Wait, is this total? I think, yeah, no, this is total. Like, this is, by the way, this is the total XP you need, not how much XP you need for level per level. I just need to remind people on that what these data points are. They're not how much XP you need for the next level. It is how much XP you need total to hit this level. That's a very different graph, and it looks similar, but it would meet like me putting it to this part would be different. Like it wouldn't be as reflective, and it would be actually comparing apples to oranges, because it would be two different data points I'm comparing that are not necessarily related. So, okay, so next part. Briefly going over what current relic efficiency is before moving on. So right now in the game, if you scrap a gold relic, you can only scrap level 0. So you can only get 10 relic remains. That would require 10 gold relics to be able to get 1 reroll. That is essentially either 4 relic rolls in a cavern, or your farming planers, or 5. It just depends on your relic roll luck, but it's never going to be less than 4, and it's always going to be at least 5 that it takes for you to get enough relic remains from farming a domain to be able to just do a reroll you want. That is how it is right now in the game, and I'm pretty sure I already explained that. So here's the efficiency for how it will work next patch. So if you want to do a relic reroll next patch, basically starting from no relic XP to you just looting relics in caverns in 3.0, it takes 120 energy for 1 relic reroll, 3 runs to be able to get enough XP to level gold relics to be able to scrap them. That is a huge jump in efficiency, because before it was also 120 energy. That's also not scrapping every gold and feeding it for XP. I just want to put that out there. If I'm not mistaken, all of the XP okay. Yeah, sorry. Just had to re-look at this. So, if you were to scrap all XP, yeah, sorry. Again, I just need to make sure I'm saying this correctly. Yeah, actually, I don't think this is gonna. Yeah, okay. So this is just, yeah, sorry. I just had to relook at what sheet I'm actually looking at. Yeah, so for 400 relic remains, at the most basic level, like, you only scrap purple relics, you do not scrap gold relics for XP. It will take you 480 energy for a full reroll. Wait. Right, yeah. It will take you 480 energy, aka 12 runs, to be able to get enough XP from golds to be able to scrap remains. Like, you level relic to 15 and then you scrap it for 400. Only using purples, it takes about 12 runs, if I'm not mistaken. We can check that real quick. Um, 640 remains, over 400 in energy. Yeah, again, sorry. Some of this I've looked at like very closely, but I recently was doing a different part. Lately, I've been focusing, like, I'm actually working backwards. This is the most recent thing I worked on, which is why I was able to talk about it so quickly. This sheet I did like back in December, so that's why I'm briefly going over this. Or me going over this. All right. So yeah. So it is 76,000 divided by 5,000. 15 point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh wait, no, it's not 50. Shoot. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. So it's like 15, 16 run. Right. I rounded up because you can't have you can't do half of a relic run. So I rounded up here. Yeah. So 5,000 XP per run. That is, you scrap every single purple, you get 1,000 relic XP per purple. It would take you 16 relic runs to get enough purple XP from purples to be able to level 1 gold relic from 0 to 15. If you get 3 gold relics and you scrap them all for XP, it would take 7 runs. And if you only got 2 every run, it would take you 8 runs. So essentially, it doesn't really matter whether you get all golds or not. The XP difference isn't that much, especially because of, again, this is exponential scaling. If we're leveling relics to 15, the difference between gold and purple kind of just fades away. It's like you get, like, scrapping 2 golds is the equivalent of you scrapping 3 purples. It really stops mattering if we're just talking about XP specifically. So, the TLDR for this is that no matter what, you're getting more relics for 3.0. You are going to get more relic remains. You're going to have more rerolls. This is just a fact of how this economy is going to change. So, in terms of numbers, the previous efficiency for relic remains was like 0.5% per energy per gain, like 50 return. Yeah, like 50 point. Yeah, okay. These are, yeah, percentages. Okay, yeah, so a 50% loss of energy per relic remain. So you spent, these are completely different numbers, and I have to, like, say this properly because, like, math terms. For every 400 energy, for every 400 relic remains you need, you have to spend 800 energy. That is how it is right now. Yes. Okay. Now I'm fully remembering what this cheat was about. So in next patch, every 3 relic runs will get you 1 reroll. That is essentially what this sheet is talking about. So I'm sorry that I didn't explain it properly. Again, I do this at work in my free time over the course of like 2 months. And I'm decent at labeling. I should have labeled this even better. But that is the TLDR. Every 3 relic runs, you get 1 reroll. I think that is perfectly fine. More than enough. And this is, yeah. And again, that's also you leveling to 15 and scrapping, not leveling to 3. I did not do that math. All right, that sheet is done. All right, next. Okay, so this sheet is about free-to-play players and how this change affects you. Assuming you do not scrap any gold relics for XP, and you are a Golden Gears gamer, you constantly are farming in there, getting the max bonus every week, which is 4,500 XP per run. You essentially can squeeze out 4.5 days worth of energy for relic, yes. you can get the equivalent of 4.5 days worth of farming like relic domains and just scrapping the purples by going through gears and gold every week and like max clearing the bosses. Now, you do not have to do this in Conundrum levels. Whether you clear at Conundrum 12 or Conundrum 0, you get the same amount of XP, from what I remember and what I saw when I like wrote this stuff down. So if you're able to speed run through level 5 Gears and Gold very, very quickly, like you're able to run through that thing in like 20 minutes or less while getting the full bonus, you are an actual gamer and you are getting more than double the amount of relic XP you normally would be getting, assuming you don't do any refills. This is like talking about natural energy, not people refilling, because I'll give you like the exact math for it. It is 180 energy or 1080 energy, assuming you do not refill, which is equal to 4.5 days. Sorry, again, this sheet is not talking about relic remains. This is solely talking about relic XP, in comparison to how much of it you scrap versus being able to farm relic XP freely. So I have it 240 energy per day because that's the max amount you can earn in a day. So 1080 divided by 240 is 4.5 days, and that is assuming you do not scrap any gold relics. If you do scrap gold relics, the amount of XP is far less at 2.8 days. And if you happen to get 3 gold relics every day, the amount of XP you get from being a mint picker or relic picker, dust sniffer, whatever we're calling it for Honkai, like the mint picker equivalent, it's only 2.3 days. So yeah, like if you don't care about gold relics in general and you just scrap everything, you kind of don't have to give a fuck about any of this. Like this part is only honestly because I got bored at work and just needed something to do. So again, I just started doing like random math parts. But yeah, this was probably just the smallest thing. I do golden gears occasionally, but I'm not doing it 30 times a week anymore. I stopped doing that like at least 4 months ago when I finished golden gears. Like back when I was doing golden gears constantly, you weren't hitting the max cap because you were losing in Conundrum 12. Let's be honest, no one was clearing it every time unless they were goddamn like Leviathan. And Leviathan for like every character, so you always had the option. All right, that is 3 papers. Wait, am I done? Yeah, no, I think this is the last sheet. And then we're good. And then, yeah, I'm gonna shut my mouth after this. But I'm gonna have to talk later for tier list stuff, so. All right, so last thing, I'm going back to this sheet, with the graph and stuff. All right, so this is showing max potential, assuming relic XP is like not a factor. Like you have infinite relic XP. Currently, right now, if you have and I'm using my account as the example, I have 2,000 gold relics on my main account and America server. Obviously, I'm not scrapping all of them because they are equipped on some of my characters. But if you just listen to this part, it's gonna seem wild, and I probably could scrap some of my best relics and probably get back a lot of my investment. So right now, if you scrap every single gold relic you have, you only get 20,000 relic remains. That sounds like a lot, but if I was to use all that for rerolling, I would only get 200 rerolls. 2,000 gold relics scrap and I only get 200 rolls. Doesn't come anywhere close to the amount I spent. However, this number is gonna get far, far bigger. Again, this is an exponential growth graph. It starts off small difference and then quickly gets very spiky. So the first point, relics at level 0 is 200 rolls. You level your relics up to level 3 and then start scrapping them, and assume you do this for all 2,000 relics, you get 500 relic rolls. Nearly doubling it for almost nothing. You can do 56 of these per week. But when we start going higher, level 6, again, also these are guesstimates. I'm guessing based on the curve for this. Around level 6, we're probably getting around 960 relic rolls. Level 6, 3 times the amount from 2 to 3 as 5 to 5. No. Sorry, the level 3 requirement, less a little more than 3 times it is for level 6. My guess is that you're getting around 1,000, maybe a little less than that. Again, I'm assuming this is like 25, 50, 100, 200, 400. That is literally how exponential graphs work. But that is it. Again, it's not going to be exact. They already said that this is 10. We already know the starting point is 10. We already know the end point is 400. It's kind of just placing on the curve where those numbers would be. So here is where things start getting spicy. At level 9, you can get 2,000 relic rolls back. Yes. At level 9, if you start scrapping relics, you will get 100% return on your investment. However, remember, you are losing relic XP. This is not a practical thing. I'm saying this as this is the potential, assuming you have infinite relic XP. And I promise you, no one has infinite relic XP. Although they are going to be selling relic XP in the shop next patch, so don't say never, I guess. At level 12, if you scrap it, assuming this is 200 relic remains per relic, you can get 4,000 relic rolls. And at 15, 8,000. Again, if you have infinite relic XP, this is a no-brainer. You definitely should be leveling to 400. But relic XP is definitely a limiting factor, meaning it's not going to be something you have more of than the other part of the equation. So yeah, there is a lot of potential for this system, but it really relies on you, the player, and how much you're willing to go for efficiency. This is a video game at the end of the day. I did this for fun because I can't play my video game around children while they're doing schoolwork. Obviously, if I want to do this YouTube stuff or some of this YouTube math, video game math, some of it I do at work, have to at least be able to use it to teach. It's part of the reason I turn my car keys into a yo-yo, so I can play with it while still using it to teach. But yeah, this is basically what I found about the relic rolls based on my own math. I have to put this full disclaimer that I may or may not know more about the relic system than I am presenting in this video. However, I promise that I am only using data points that is currently available in-game right now. Nothing of this is a leak. I did not take someone else's data graph. This is literally myself doing this in a place that I cannot exactly use a computer to be looking this stuff up because the school probably blocked those websites. and I wouldn't be going on those school websites because I'm smart and I'm not my students and I'm not gonna do something stupid. Oh, I want to share this story, but this is not the time to share this story. Probably on YouTube or in a stream. All right, peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.